everybody, and welcome to today's Lunar Scope for the 13th of December, 2015. The moon is in Capricorn today and will transit Uttara Ashadha Nakshatra. Sometimes it doesn't really pay to be big. Sometimes it's better to be small. It's big. That big right there. Sometimes it's best to not take the high road. And sometimes it's much better to take the low road. Now, before you think that, oh, finally, he's giving me the opportunity to just do whatever I'm feeling and to follow my feelings. Well, I am. You always have that permission, right? But it may not lead you in the best of directions. Really, what I'm talking about is that you're likely facing a challenge. And you think that you're trying to cooperate. You feel you're trying to do the right thing in order to create a change or to make a shift, but you're missing something. You're missing a rather big thing. And here's how you're going to find it: by pushing as hard as you can. Well, that's one way that you can find it, because you'll likely be given an experience where, rather than having success by being so big, you're actually going to get really small, and then you'll understand something. Or by doing something where you think you're taking the high road, and that's going to get you to your destination a little more quickly than some other pathway would. Instead, you're going to come up against a dead end. And when you hit that dead end, you're going to find that taking the low road and being humble and letting something move over you is actually something that is much better. So rather than being firm at the moment, you need to be flexible. Rather than acting at the moment, you need to pay attention. Rather than talking, you need to listen. If something isn't working at the moment, you need to be willing to try a different option. You're being shown something at the moment. It's just that you need to open your eyes so that you can see it. Uttara Ashadha is another of the moksha nakshatras. What is moksha? Moksha is about liberation. Usually with moksha nakshatras, there's the desire to create a change. And Uttara Ashadha is connected with the Vishwadevas, which are the deities of universalization. What do I mean by that? They grant one a wider perspective on something. But I also like, there's another symbol with Uttara Ashadha that I really like, and it's the planks of a bed. Now, I'm not talking about a bed that's sitting up on legs. I'm talking about a bed that sits on the floor. And these are the wooden planks that are underneath where the mattress would be, right? Imagine that. They're the lowest part of the bed, right? Its liberation itself is looked upon as being the final resting, or the big sleep, as we like to call it in other terminology, right? So the support that's going to get somebody to that space of liberation, that's going to help one to grow in this particular moment, is that lowest part of the bed. Taking yourself down to that space that's lower than everything else. And I'm not saying you have to lose your dignity. I'm saying you may have to swallow your pride. But you need to take a look at what you might be missing. Be willing to learn, because only when you're willing to learn are you really going to have the capacity to do so. The lunar tithi today is Shukla Tritiya. It's the third day of the bright half of the moon. With this particular energy, it's almost like you're wanting to make the connections on what you need to do, but you're being blinded. You're not able to see it, right? And it's because you're continuing to push. You're continuing to strive. Like I said before, you're trying to be firm rather than being flexible. The solar lunar yoga today is Dhruva, which means immovable. With this particular energy, you don't need to be immovable. You don't need to be firm. Again, you need to be flexible, right? You need to be willing to change. But before you do any of that, you need to be quiet, you need to be open, and you need to be receptive. Something isn't working. Why? Pay attention to that. That's how you're going to make the most of this particular day. Just to remind you about my website, www.authenticastrology.com, where you can book a consultation with me, should you so desire. In addition to that, there's a full-length Nakshatra video course that I've done with fellow astrologer Ryan Korzak. That'll do it for your Vedic Lunar Scope for today, the 13th of December, 2015. Until next time, please take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.